Hey guys, welcome back to Between Bells. It's that time of the show, America's favorite game show, where we bring up the biggest political issues of the day and we ask our political roundtable if they agree or if they disagree. We want to hear your opinion as well, so feel free to sound off in the comment section on the Facebook comment section right below this video. Here to kick it all off, our returning It's a pleasure to have you guys as well. Ryan, of course, is a senior writer over at Red Alert Politics. Let's kick things off with less than 51 days. This is a startling statistic. 51 days left in the legislative calendar. President Trump is running out of time to accomplish just one legislative achievement in his first term in office, or his first year in office, that is. In addition to Obamacare repeal, the president has said he wants
just talked about how the Democratic Party is in shambles, but the Republican Party also has its issues too. I'm not saying that either of them are in great shape, but you have the Freedom Caucus and the Libertarians, Mike Lee, Rand Paul on the right, and then the moderates like Murkowski kind of trying to hold on to Obamacare. So there isn't a lot of unity in the party right now. But again, Trump campaigned on dismantling, repealing, and replacing Obamacare and saying that everyone would get coverage, which, by the way, sounds a lot like universal health care. And he can't even get that done with having the House and having the Senate and the White House. So if he can't get that done, what can he get done in the next 51 days?
Ryan, it's July, so I clearly want to be a congressman, only knowing I have to work 50 more days left of the year. But, you know, is this a position where President Trump has a lot of stuff he wanted to tackle, and maybe it's just too much to chew for 1 year?
Well, he has gotten some legislative accomplishments, so I have to disagree. He did get regulatory reform done, and he got other things like not mandating federal funds for abortion clinics. So, I mean, there are things he's done. Other things have passed in the House that are just waiting for a vote in the Senate. He has a reform bill for veteran affairs, allowing small businesses to provide insurance through trade and professional associations, punishing sanctuary cities, punishing illegal immigrants. They all passed the House. They're just waiting for a Senate vote. I think now the time is up for Mitch McConnell to really just put up or shut up. I think Mitch McConnell really has to sit there and either reform the way that the Senate works in order to sit there and get votes on the Senate floor, and wrangle his senators to sit there and pass some stuff. But he has already certainly passed some things, not the things everyone talks about in the media, but there are things he has passed.
All right, Ryan, let's stick with the Senate. Let's go to our second question. Of course, with multiple Republicans like Jeff Flake and Dean Heller in tough re-election bids in 2018, not voting on the very unpopular Senate healthcare bill might help them in the re-election bids so that their opponents might not have to hold their votes against them. So, Ryan, agree or disagree? A lot of Senate Republicans are relieved that the healthcare vote did not happen. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. Well, there's not that many Republicans up for a vote this year. So, yes, Heller certainly has a chance on opposition with the Democrats, Flake by the Republicans. I don't think the Democrats have a chance of winning Arizona this year. But certainly those two are relieved they don't take up this vote. And any time, listen, Congress, there's nothing congressmen love more than getting reelected. They would like to take up any vote that would get them reelected. That's why Congress has abdicated so much of their responsibilities to either the White House or the Supreme Court. I think that's status quo for Congress.
What do you think, Emma?
I would agree that they at least should be relieved. I don't know if they are, but some of them should be, because it is a deeply, deeply unpopular bill. I can't remember a bill that's this unpopular, and it's for good reason. It would take over 20 million people off of their insurance and cut almost $800 billion from Medicaid, which is a massively popular program. So I think what it really shows is that if this bill had passed, the Republicans would be exposed for what they are, which is entirely beholden to the donors that got them there in the first place.
Oh, throwing some shade over there. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the media a little bit. Fox News, of course, right now is in the midst of an editorial war, many would say, I would say anyway, with the pro-Trump opinion personalities increasingly at odds with more objective journalists. For instance, just yesterday, Shep Smith said of his pal Sean Hannity, quote, "Sometimes facts are displeasing. Journalists report them without fear or favor." Emma, let me start with you. Is Are the realities of the Trump administration right now forcing conservative media to split at the seams?
It's tough because, Shep Smith actually has always had some integrity on Fox News. He's called out the Bush administration or praised Obama when he needed to be. He's less partisan than a lot of people on there. There is no one more partisan than Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity should just try to be a part of the Trump administration. He just has them on to spew their propaganda. I do think that there are some splinters in conservative media. And as I've said before, Fox News has always been kind of a stalwart for establishment Republicans, and Trump is anything but establishment. So you can see in Fox News itself, not Fox and Friends or Hannity, that people are starting to get disgruntled.
Ryan, what do you think? Are the different factions within Fox News right now seeming to reach a boiling point over this?
I don't think it's a boiling point. I think that one comment on air is not does not make or break the entire conservative movement. As somebody who works in conservative media and reads and watches conservative media, I think there are a lot of honest voices. I mean, look, you have Laura Ingraham, who campaigned for Trump, who spoke at his convention and bashed him when he bombed Syria. I think that you have a lot of people who are really trying to fight for conservative populism in the face of a lot of people in the Republican Party, especially in Congress, and some in the Trump administration, like Secretary Kelly and Nikki Haley, who don't believe in Trump's ideology whatsoever. And I think that that's where the confrontation comes forward. As far as Shep Smith versus Sean Hannity, listen, they're both very nice men. I met them both. What they say on air, here things are there, does not break or make the entire conservative media.
All right, next one. Failing, of course, to pass health care, many White House officials are saying that President Trump is eagerly awaiting to take on tax reform. Of course, something that hasn't been done in decades. But this might be an even bigger fight than health care, it seems like. So let's go to our next one. Agree or disagree? Ryan, Republicans, they're not ready to tackle tax codes at all. What do you think?
I think that I disagree. I think that they are. I think that they can pass something and call it an accomplishment at the end of the day. They can get at least corporate taxes down. They'll call it an accomplishment. Maybe they won't do the broad legislative 3 brackets down to 25 or 30% income tax, but they will get something done, and they'll just pass it and call it an accomplishment.
Emma, do you think Republicans have the votes on this? Because we've kind of seen with healthcare, there's multiple fractions of the Republican Party, the more conservative wings, the Jerry Morans, the Mike Lees, the Rand Pauls of the world, and then the moderate fractions of it, the Lisa Murkowskis and the Susan Collins, that might sink any potential bids for tax reform.
I actually think that they can get tax reform passed, because if there's one thing that the Republican Party can agree upon, it's cutting taxes for the rich. I mean, there's independent studies that came out. I believe it was an Oxfam Guardian study that said that if this tax plan goes through, we would fall beneath Greece in income inequality, and Greece is experiencing horrific income inequality. Additionally, it also says that this proposed plan would give poor people $40 in tax cuts and over $900,000 for the ultra rich. And so the Republican donor class is like, yes, gimme. So that could definitely happen. If they want to get something passed in the 51 days, tax reform would be it.
All right, we're running out of time, but I want to get to this last one. Ryan, I'll start with you. The White House yesterday was finally forced to reveal there was actually a second meeting between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin out in Germany, unbeknownst to anyone in the press. Is this another bungled messaging snafu out of the West Wing, or is this kind of a benign exchange that didn't really need to effectively be revealed initially?
If you see the picture, they're sitting on opposite sides of a table with 100 people. I don't think that this is anything serious. I think that this is the media hunting for any story. I mean, honestly, Luis Mensch is only one step further to crazy than mainstream media is right now.
I agree so much with you
about that part, but Emma, what do you think about the media? Should the West Wing have come out, should the administration come out sooner?
I agree with everything Ryan said, actually. I think that they're making a big deal about it. Just because Trump and Putin met in the same room, it doesn't need to have anything to do with the larger, major issues of potential Russian collusion. The Donald Trump Jr. stuff is actual news. This is just like the mainstream media trying to hype up this Russia stuff. And again, like the guest said before me, maybe they should talk a little bit more about healthcare and less about Russia mania.
Nice.
All right, amazing conversation, guys. This is why this is America's favorite game.
Everyone loves it.
Emma Bigelow, of course, politics producer over at the Young Turks, and Ryan Grodowski, he's a senior writer over at Red Alert Politics. Thanks, guys. Coming up on Between Bells, we're going to talk with one of the public officials